there. Didn't see you there. How's it going? My name is Michaela and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. And if you like, please click the subscribe button below if you like what you see. So for today's YouTube video, I just wanted to just share the products that I've been using and that I'm really enjoying. This is probably like my favorite go-to look for the daily, just to look nice and professional, put together and natural at the same time. Those are things that I like to strive for when I'm putting on my makeup. So this video is going to be all on this look, and I hope you like it, and tell your friends, and yeah, we're all going to survive this, I promise. Okay, so let's get started. So once I am starting my makeup, I've been getting into a better habit of actually doing my hair. And so I always get my hair done first and then do the makeup second. And so I've been finding that these little clips have been helpful. I just got them from the dollar store, no big deal. So I just want to lightly pin my hair behind my ears, and this prevents nicely styled hair from getting wrecked. There we go. So that's a really cute little lockdown. So let's do this. I'll move camera just a bit. Okay, so my skin is already cleansed and prepped and moisturized. I'll do a second video just on my day-to-day skin routine, on a good day I should say, because I don't do it every day. Getting into a better habit now though. But yeah, so my skin's already prepped up and ready to go. When it comes to pimples, dry skin, any flakiness, whatnot, your makeup's gonna apply better if that is maintained and taken care of at first. So just recommend a gentle exfoliation. If you have really dry skin, use like a face oil. Squalene's really nice from The Ordinary. I also got a really nice one from Milan, I think that's how you say it, from London Drugs at International Village. It was $15 and it is amazing. I have it on my skin right now and it really has changed my makeup game. So, so for foundation, what I've been using and loving for the past little bit is Milani. So this is a recommendation that I've heard from Jaclyn Hill when I was watching lots of videos recently. And I can't afford to shop at Sephora, so here we are. I think these were $12 for each. So from a really awesome tip by Samantha Ravndal, one of my favorite YouTubers. I got two shades, so one that's it's more like my skin tone, and a little one that's a little bit darker. Actually, this one's probably a little bit lighter, this one's a little bit darker, so when you combine the two, you get your perfect shade. So I'm gonna apply that. I use more of the light, and then I add just a touch of the dark. So right now, just gonna use that on my hand, see there? And just add a little bit of the dark just to warm it up a bit. So to start, I'm gonna use my Real Techniques brush. Doesn't have a number, but this brush literally does everything. I love it because it applies my makeup, my foundation really nice. Can also use it for blush, setting powder, everything. It just kind of gets multi-use, but I definitely need to clean it at least once a week because I use it so much. So so I'm just gonna put that on. And so then when applying, you want to make sure that you are actually going up and down because it's pressing it into the skin, not going like that because that just kind of moves around the product, but actually patting it in and making sure you're making all the funny faces because that's how makeup gets on better. So just patting motions. I always like to make sure that I'm like extending to my ear too. If you find that with product, if you're running out towards the forehead, I would just collect some more over here and transfer it over. I just don't like wearing a lot of foundation anymore, but I do like imperfections to be covered. And this is a more full coverage foundation, which I really like, but I don't like to use too much of it. So I kind of just work with what I got on my face as opposed to just adding more. I probably even could have used a little bit of less of the foundation. Go in with a beauty blender. So I just put a little bit of water on this, and now I'm just gonna dab it on just to make everything more pulled together and soft. For concealer, I use MAC and NW20 Studio Finish Concealer. Has SPF 35, so that's super great. So just gonna put that on my under eyes. So the brush that I'm using is a Real Techniques brush. Doesn't say the name on it, but it's really tiny, which I really like, and flat. Yeah, this is one of my favorite brushes. And just taking it in here. Probably used a little bit too much, but that's okay. I can still use it on the rest of my face. And just bringing that up here. Just when you have a little brush like this and kind of getting into this part of the eye and right by the nose, it just creates a nicer finish. And just going back in with the Beauty Blender and making sure that I'm pressing up and down as opposed to across. And I do have some breakouts a little bit right here. So when it comes to concealing, I find that a common error, which is something that I've done as well, but whenever I buy a concealer that has a sponge or a sponge applicator, I use that and I put it directly on the pimples. And that's actually transferring bacteria and contaminating your product afterwards. So you're actually making your skin, or I was making my skin worse by doing that. So these little sponge applicators are not a good thing, but if you put it on the back of your hand and then use a brush, then that's fine. But if you're using the sponge directly on it, you're contaminating the whole product, and then you're just gonna transfer more pimples. So fun fact, just thought I'd let you know. This product here is by Milani as well, and it's the Retouch and Erase. So what I like to do with this little brush that I was showing you before, it's flat. So like there's that, but then it's like very flat. So I go in with the concealer, and I learned this trick when I was working at Sephora by one of the reps by Laura Mercier. So just having the product and just placing it gently on the spot. You don't even need that much product. And just tap it on in the problem spots, or perceived problem spots. And so I definitely put too much product on, so I'm just gonna buff up my brush on my hand, and then I'm gonna actually flip the brush on as I apply it. So I don't know if you can see that well. Let's see if my mirror, so I'm doing this right. So
patting it and then flipping the sides. Patting it and then flipping the sides. I just find that it does a lot more effective coverage, and this is just something that I learned from Laura Mercier when she was talking about there was like a duo palette for concealer for mixing colors, and she was recommending this method, but I found that it actually works for concealing pimples.
For my next product, I'm going to be using the NYX Wonder Stick, which I love. I got it in the shade Universal. I found that the light one was a bit too fair, medium too dark, Universal. Super good. Yeah, okay, so just gonna go in with the bronzing stick here. With bronzer, you want to start at the top of the ear and outside your eye right here. So down like so, a little mark. And so just gonna take that gently, not a ton of product, just enough. And then on the other side. And just making sure each side is matching. And then just taking it in the nose. And on the forehead. That was the bronzing side, and they have a really nice, well, there goes my battery. Really nice highlighting stick on the end as well, so it doesn't, looks like it'll go on like a concealer, but actually it's just like a very sheen highlight, so it's really pretty, and I like it a lot. So I'm gonna do this and add it to the Cupid's bow. Add that right here. Now I'm just going to take the same brush I was using before. It just blends so nicely. Okay, so moving on from that, so what I like to do when it comes to highlight, blush, and bronzer, now that this bronzer is all mixed in really nicely, I'm gonna go in with the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. Love this product. You can mix it in with your foundation or just do little highlighting spots. So pretty. Again, just putting this on my hand, very, very little amount. Beauty blender, and just gonna tap it right here. And next I'm going to go in with my liquid blush. So I have Orgasm by NARS in the liquid form. Sounds, never mind. So again, just on my hand, beauty blender, and just right in this little region here. Kind of goes on strong initially, so start small.
just go back in with that brush again and just kind of blend it. These are all cream, so it goes pretty seamlessly when you do this. Okay, and so now we're going to do brows. So for brows, I've been using the the NYX Tame and Frame tinted powder, and I really like it. I actually got it in the shade Taupe. I'm just finding, I always tell clients, oh yeah, like if you're brunette, make sure you go 2 shades lighter, or if you're blonde, 2 shades darker. But I feel like these rules don't apply to me, and I've always just matched my hair or made it darker just because that was the look that I liked. But now I'm using a taupe color, which I find really nice, and so just going in just with an angled brush. This one's by Cosette, which is a vegan makeup brush line, which is amazing. I love it. This is the number 9. Goes on so nicely, so just gonna go in there. Good old mirror. And so for brows, I have my microbladed, and so I just go in, start with the tail, and use the most product in this area right here, and warm them up a bit, but I don't really go outside of the lines anymore. I'm trying to keep it calm when it comes to brows now. If I don't fuss with them too much, I tend to like them a lot better. I haven't been great at wearing sunscreen on my brows, so they're a bit faded, but I'm really happy with how they turned out. I can get into a more intensive brow tutorial in another video for sure, but right now I'm just gonna go quickly. So again, hopefully you can see this now I'm looking, but more concentrated in the tail, and just kind of going against the grain of my brows. I do like to take my brush on the top right here, just because I find that they are quite flat right here, which is good because it's proportionally correct, but I just like to have a little bit of like a rounder top right now. So I just go not with the hair, I go against it, and just making a small line on the top of what I already have. Okay, I'm gonna do that on the other side too. And just go in here, upward strokes. And I just make sure that the tails have full coverage when it comes to this, otherwise it can look funny. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do with brows today. I don't feel like getting too into it, but I promise I will. So next I'm using the Milani Stay Put Brow Shaping Gel. It's okay. I don't love it. I don't find that it creates a lot of texture on my brows. I don't have very much brow hair, but the brows I do have, it doesn't really do anything for them. I love Maybelline's brow stuff. I just got this one because I wanted to try something new. I also think there's like 0 product in here, so I definitely need to get new brow gel. I really want to try, I tried a sample of the Kush brow stuff from Sephora, and I loved it, but it's expensive, so maybe now's the time. Okay, and then for eyeshadow, just gonna do something simple. In Ipsy, so with BoxyCharm, I got some really nice brushes that really fit my eyelids quite
nicely because you want your eyeshadow brushes not to be too big for your eyes. So use this one. So I'm using an old Kat Von D matte palette, which I love. It's still going strong. I'm just gonna use a nude color. What color is that? Susie Sue. I'm gonna say, how do you do? And just tapping the product on. And then I'm gonna go in with Sephora Enchanting Colors. My girlfriends gave this to me. Love you, Danielle. Thank you. And I think I'm just gonna use a bit of Fairy Shadows. And just gonna dab that in the middle, working my way down. Blend out just a little bit. And take it down. And I think I'm gonna go in with one of the smaller brushes with something darker. So I'm gonna use Fantasy World. And just put that right in the crease. And then I'm gonna go in with CoverGirl Ink It in 260 Cocoa Ink. Really like this. I love gel liners. And this one's just the perfect shade of brown, I find. So just make a simple line. Oh, these are really wonky. Wow. It's like I'm coloring in the first grade. I'm just gonna go back in with the eyebrow brush and just go over the line. Just to make it more smudgy. Okay, now that looks like a million times better, and I'm really happy. Okay. I'm really happy how that turned out. I'm gonna go in with powder products on my face now. So I'm just gonna warm up the blush, cream, and bronzer and highlighter. So going in with the blush I'm using is Sweet Cheeks by NYX, and it's in Citrine Rose. The brush I'm using by Cosette, this is my favorite brush of all time. It just fits so beautifully in your cheekbone, and it's like, it's home. A Big Brothers reference come to mind, but I won't say it. So you just go right here. Up, that was a lot, too much. It just has the perfect application. I'm gonna go back in with my buffing brush. Where did you go? I'm just gonna go in with a different brush to buff it out. This one's also by Real Techniques. Contour brush, it's called. For bronzer, I'm just gonna go in with, sound like a doctor, just going in, or dentist. Oh, and that has cat hair. No, we're good. We're gonna use a different one. Yeah, just use like a thicker makeup brush. That's, or sorry, a wider one. So this is the Cosette number 5. I'm gonna go into the bronzer and do this like so. And then in the nose. Okay, I'm gonna go in, this one's from Morphe, just like a stippling brush. And buff that out. And now I'm just gonna add a little bit of highlighter. So this one is from NYX as well, the Illuminator. This is not high intensity at all. It's very sheer, so don't expect this to be high impact, but it's just very subtle, and I actually like it, using it as a setting powder too sometimes. And this is in Enigmatic. So I'm just gonna add that right here. And now for lashes, my favorite things of all time, Kiss 11s. They're a classic. Really like the Page Boy ones too. I know, it's freaking hard to do makeup and talk at the same time. I don't know how you guys do it. Here we go. I'll get into a big YouTube video on lashes in the future too. But see, just love it. Fake lashes make it all come together. When you're a little bit scared and it doesn't make sense, you put the lashes on, you're like, okay, we're gonna be okay. And I like to push the lashes up even a bit higher than the natural lash line, just because the liner's already there, but it just makes more of a high impact. One thing I'm gonna do quickly that I'm excited about, this is Borderline Intense Gel Eyeliner in Smoky Quartz. I got this at the Makeup Trade Show. And it's unreal. And the brush that I'm using right now is this cute wee guy from Cosette as well, which is the number 11. Just gonna add that right underneath my lash line. Okay, mascara, the one I'm using right now, which I love, Voluminous Lash Paradise. I find that if I take a Kleenex though and wipe the product off, it's a waste of product, but at the same time, I find that it comes out too clumpy. So if you just do that little trick, it'll help with mascara application. Almost done. Now I'm just gonna add some lipstick and I think I'm gonna call it a day. So this again is NYX and Fun Size Mini number 16. Just nice, perfect, regular nude. And there you have it, guys. Thank you so much for checking out my makeup YouTube video. If you like what you see, please click the subscribe button below, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Bye.